G'day viewers, Jason, Joondalup Electrical Services. I'm just working on an off-grid system at the moment. We've got this lead acid battery bank, Sunny Island, Sunny Boy, and an automatic transfer switch, which I'm trying to work out why that is even here on an off-grid system. So I'm just getting my head, this isn't my system, I've inherited it, so I'm just trying to work out what it's all doing, but we've got a number of issues here. We've got lead acid batteries. The top half is the older ones, I think, and the bottom half are the newer ones, which, or the other way around, I'm not sure. But anyway, you can't really do that. You can't mix the age of batteries when it comes to lead acid batteries. They don't like it, and they're not going to function well. And the other issue is we've got a generator that you might be able to hear running in the background. The generator has not been starting up to do an equalisation charge on these batteries, so they are way out of whack. And the other thing is they've been getting taken down to 20%, which is way too low for lead acid batteries. So the batteries are pretty flogged. Just doing an equalisation charge on them at the moment, and working through all the issues, although I doubt the batteries will come back. It's highly unlikely. But we're going to do what we can. Need to get this system online. For off-grid systems, for me, when I get involved, it's important that I can access these systems remotely, so that if there is any issues, they can be sorted out without having to come to a site visit, which can, sometimes for off-grid be a day's drive, and that's a long way to travel just to sort out an issue that should be able to be set up remotely. So I'm going to install this data manager. I'm going to set all this up properly so it's doing everything it should. These systems are great when they're set up properly. If they're not set up properly, they can be an absolute pain in the ass. But when everything's set up properly and everything's in place, there's a generator, it's doing equalisation charge on the batteries to eliminate state of charge drift, then they run and operate beautifully. You also need to have them so that they've got a backup system, so that if all this fails, if it falls in a heap, you can manually start the generator and switch over to it via a transfer switch until I can get out here to sort it out, or whoever your off-grid guy is. I think that's why they've used this ATS, but it's overcomplicating everything. I'm not sure. I've got to get my head around it and work it out, but I'm going to get rid of that and just have a transfer switch with some detailed instructions on how to operate the system in layman's terms, so it's easy to understand. And the system should operate and do everything as it should, seamlessly and without giving you any grief whatsoever. With off-grid, there's a few components which are necessary. Obviously your batteries and your standalone inverter. But you must also have a generator for off-grid systems. There's going to be times when there's low power, low sunlight, and you're going to have high demand, and you're going to need to have that generator support. That and external communication and configuration is something that is important to me. But the other thing is, have a look at this generator. Oh, the smoke that thing's chugging out. What's going on there is the generator's not stuffed. It's actually relatively new. Able generator, 10 kVA, and I've seen them chug out worse smoke than that. That's not actually too bad, but what's happening is it's getting a build-up of carbon and diesel and everything because it's not getting worked hard enough. At the moment, the system is only taking 600 watts from it, because it's trying to do an equalisation charge, and that equalisation charge is going to take quite some time because it hasn't been done for a very long time. But the generators need to get worked. So when you're sizing a generator for an off-grid system, it's important that you size them adequately so that the generator gets worked hard enough. If you get a generator that's way too big for the system and it's basically just idling all the time and not really working that hard, then you're going to glaze the cylinders up and it's going to be clapped out before you know it. Ideally, a generator should be working at 80% of its capacity. All right, so a couple things there. I might do another follow-up video once I've got this all sorted out, but that's where I'm at today, guys, just out in the sticks.